Chairman Lowenthal, Ranking Member Gosar, and subcommittee members, thank you for the opportunity to testify in support of H.R. 5598, the Boundary Waters Wilderness Protection and Pollution Prevention Act. My name is Land Tawney, and I am the President and CEO of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. We thank Congresswoman McCollum, Representative Rooney, and the bipartisan list of original co-sponsors for supporting this bill. We thank the subcommittee for holding this hearing today. BHA is a North American conservation organization with 40,000 plus members, chapters in 45 states, 2 Canadian provinces, and 1 territory. One of our strongest chapters is in Minnesota. We work to make sure you have access to public lands and waters and the outstanding fish and wildlife habitat when you get there. We combine sage wisdom with youthful exuberance to accomplish this work on the ground, at state and provincial legislatures, and today in Washington, D.C. I hope all of you have had the opportunity to sit around a campfire late at night. These simple moments connect us to the generations who came before us. BHA bestows an annual award named for Sigurd Olson, the renowned conservationist and author who found solace and inspiration in the very landscape that we're talking about today. In his words, "In years of roaming the wilds, my campfires seem like glowing beads in a long chain of experience. Some of the beads glow more than the others, and when I blow on them, ever so softly, they burst into flame. When that happens, I recapture the scenes themselves, pick them out of the almost forgotten limbo of the past, and make them live." In today's world of almost constant digital connection, campfires and wild places are even more important. More for Mr. Olson. Wilderness to the people of America is a spiritual necessity, an antidote to the high pressure of modern life, a means of regaining serenity and equilibrium. We aren't making any more blank spots on the map. We have a responsibility to protect wild places for future generations so they too can find solace in the outdoors. BHA and our partners, Sportsmen for the Boundary Waters, the Ruffed Grouse Society, the Theodore Roosevelt Conservation Partnership, the American Sports Fishing Association, and others represent a coalition of hunters and anglers united in our support of protecting public lands upstream of the watershed of the Boundary Waters from copper nickel mining. The Boundary Waters, America's most visited wilderness area, lies within the Superior National Forest, first recognized by Theodore Roosevelt, and contains 20% of the fresh water in our national forest system. Perhaps nowhere else in America better represents the ideas that some places are too important to risk. Lack of access is cited by sportsmen and women as the #1 reason why we stop pursuing our passions. This past fall, I got to go into the Boundary Waters and I hunted grouse, ducks, and squirrel, and fished for bass, pike, and walleye, all on a single day. I drank clean, fresh water directly from the South Cowichan River, the exact river where the proposed copper sulfide mine will be built. And then later that night, I ate fresh meat over an open campfire. The Boundary Waters provides a rare backcountry experience where all this is possible. Better yet, the ease of a canoe and moderate portages create access opportunities for those of every age, from 3 to 99. The Boundary Waters and the contiguous Voyageurs National Park are home to almost half of Minnesota's native fish species, including lake trout. Contamination of the South Cowichan River and the surrounding areas would jeopardize the cold, clean water the area is known for and ongoing conservation efforts for this iconic species. Studies show a high likelihood of forest fragmentation from mining development, disrupting wildlife migration and habitat use. The Boundary Waters is mostly made up of forest on thin soils and granite bedrock. Therefore, acid mine drainage, a byproduct of copper nickel mining, would impact lowland forests and surrounding rivers, creeks, and wetlands. This area is important habitat for ruffed grouse, white-tailed deer, black bear, moose, migratory birds, and an array of boreal forest species. There has never been a copper sulfide mine that has not leached contaminants. Never. Mineral development of this fragile and dynamic landscape doesn't make sense. Not now, not ever. H.R. 5598 allows existing iron mining, protects existing jobs, and sets rules whereby future iron mining, logging, and wilderness travel can coexist. This was Theodore Roosevelt's vision when he established the Superior National Forest in 1909. Today, we urge decision makers to follow in his legacy. During my trip this fall, we visited some public lands a stone's throw away from the proposed mine. As we rounded the final corner in our boat, abruptly a flock of geese and 24 mallard ducks erupted from this flat of wild rice. That wild rice is highly dependent on clean, cold water. Today, I speak on behalf of our 40,000 members, specifically our members in Minnesota, and the fish, fowl, and wildlife that cannot. We appreciate the leadership of Representative McCollum and Rooney to permanently protect public lands in the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness. We thank the Chairman Lowenthal, Ranking Member Gosar for holding this hearing.